got a fairly quick, very unscripted video. This is about what I feel is what you can use Guitar Pro for in order to practice, get the most out of it. And for my students, there's some stuff that I'm going to talk about that will be very helpful when it comes to music theory, inputting things, and manipulating the tab and changing how things look and stuff like that. So, excuse me, I'm going to try and edit this as little as possible and just bam, 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 get it all out there and try and get this done quick. So, we are going to take a look at Guitar Pro 8. That is the current version I have. If you don't have the latest version, I do recommend that you get it. And one of the reasons is because of the fact you can put audio tracks, actual MP3s, like possibly waves, down here in the track and actually transcribe stuff to songs or have songs transcribed with the actual song along with it. So it's pretty neat. Don't have an example to show right now, but it is a thing. So really important stuff. We got some different panels here, and let's turn them all off and back on. So this left panel, this shows like the different rhythmic values over here. So if you're inputting things or you need to kind of change some stuff around for whatever reason, like maybe your voice cracks like mine just did, and it makes you want to change it to a 30-second note instead of a 16. Excuse me. But yeah, different like things such as finger tapping, hammer-on pull-off stuff, ghost notes, like percussive things, whatnot. You'll see all this stuff over here on the left panel. You can even change your time signature right here, and you can change the key signature right here. So for those of my students who are doing theory work who need to change time signatures, or not time signatures, key signatures, this right here, that's what you want. Now, up here is some important stuff. So right there is the count in. So what does that mean? It means when you hit play on Guitar Pro, you're going to hear this. So that was your count in right there. So this is currently in a 4/4 time signature. So it's counting off 4 clicks before this is going to play. So you can change that here. Let's say you want to have 2 bars of a count in because maybe you're going to practice something that's really fast. And it's going to be like, tut, 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 and that's, too quick. So you want to have a couple extra bars to get yourself ready to hit play and then have the guitar ready. Now, if you hit the space bar on your keyboard, that will start the tab. But it's also going to start playing from wherever your cursor is. So if you have it like over here or here, and then you hit space bar to play, well, it's going to start where that cursor is. So if you want to be playing from the beginning, make sure you start or have your cursor over here. Now, the other thing is this, the metronome. So for most stuff, for students I work with, you'll want to have both of these on if you need to work with Guitar Pro. Some people don't work with Guitar Pro, but for those of you who do or want to practice with it, good to have both of these on. Now, right here, these little dots where I just had the duration of the count in, you can change the metronome volume right here. I've never messed with a visual metronome. I don't even know what that would look like. What the heck would that look like? Oh, it flashes. Well, I don't recommend anyone have that on. And the reason why is because you're going to be training your eyes to follow the metronome instead of your ears. So if you're going to be on stage, I don't think someone's going to be flashing a flashlight at you every single time the beat happens. So do not recommend having that on. This right here can be helpful. This is a loop. So let's say I have this bar highlighted and this loop is on. Well, what's going to happen is that bar that's highlighted will continue to play. So that's really helpful for just practicing treble spots and just, loop it and just play it over and over and over and over and over again. Very helpful thing. Now, if that's on but nothing is highlighted, then when it gets to the end of the piece, it'll start all over again. Now, another important thing, this panel will show it. For most students, what we do is work things up without repetition. So if you are using Guitar Pro to work something up before you add in the repeats, this symbol right here, you want to click on that to turn it off, and then come over here and then click on that to turn it off, and then click on that again to put it back, and probably just have the 2 times in. So when you are working on repetition, so most people it's work on getting up to 4 repeats, so you might want to have so when you're ready for the 4 times, just click up to there, but usually you're going to want to start with just 2, and then eventually 3, and then 4. And for your own music, you can put this at whatever number you want, for stuff that you're writing. But yeah, I'm going to put that back in and that back in. And if you let your mouse float over these things here, it'll show you the hotkeys, so you can do little keyboard shortcuts. Now, not everything has a keyboard shortcut, but a lot of important things do, and it will be different for Windows versus Mac. So yeah, just take note of it, the important things that you want to keep changing often. Now, let's come over to the panel on the right. So we got song information over here. So this is where you can have title, artist, whatever. You can put in whatever you want. I usually put in like instructions for students. Now, if you ever need to change like the instrument, it's like right now, it's got your default overdrive guitar, but you can come down here, click on that, and start changing different sounds. Like there's a ton of different sounds in here, so you can go nuts with that. But let's say you want to change the tuning. That could be very useful, because maybe you want to play something in drop tuning, and we have the Guitar Pro file in a different tuning than what you want to play in. So you come over there to the tuning, and it's got some preset stuff in here. So let's say we want to do, I don't know, drop D. You can click on that. Just make sure you pick adjust the fingering, so this way it moves things into the drop D tuning. But what if you want to do something different? Now, let's say you want to go, say not drop C, just tune down 2 steps. So that means everything goes down 2 whole steps. Well, this is still tuned, like each string is tuned the same distance as standard, E standard. This is basically C standard right now. So let's say you want to hear it in C standard, but you want the same frets. Well, then you select keep the fingering. And then everything is going to sound lower, but the frets are going to be the same. So that's a very important thing right there. So again, if you want to change the tuning, make sure this panel on the right is turned on, and then it's probably going to show the song info first. So you want to click on track, and then come down to tuning, and select what you want. Now, what if you don't have, or what you want is not in here? Because sometimes I want to go down to like baritone, or actually C standard, not C standard. What am I thinking? I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway, let's pretend like we want to do something else. So what you can do is just change the tuning to whatever you want. So like maybe you want it all the way down to A. So you can just put whatever thing you want in here and kind of make up your own tunings. So if you don't see what you want in here, that's okay. Just come over here and put in what you want that string to be. All right, I'm going to cancel that. So the other panel, this one right here, this will show the different tracks. So with this lesson, there's only the guitar. So let's go to something that has more. So this one's got 3 tracks. So it's only showing the one right now. But let's say you want to just change which track you're looking at. Just click on any of the different things down here. And then you can also control the volume of each instrument. There's the master volume to control the volume for everything. And you can even change the EQ for stuff. Now I noticed that with a lot of, kick drum and the bass in this program, holy crap, is there a lot of bass. So you might want to change that if it's too much low end coming through your system. Of course, by default, that's off. So if you do want to edit anything, you just click on this little thing right here. Click on, and then you can change it there. Preset stuff. Oh, look at that. You got all kinds of things. I've never messed with it, but you're welcome to do so. So if you click on that, it automatically changes stuff to make those sound better. I've never tried it. Maybe I should. It might make stuff sound better. I mean, that's what it's there for, right? So anyway, what if you want to see all the tracks? Well, you need to click on this right here. So that brings up all 3 tracks at once. And you can click and drag this. Well, no, I guess you can't click and drag it. You got to click these things up here. So let's say I want the guitar to be like in the middle, in between the bass and the drums. So you got to click on this. See, now that put it in the middle, that put it on the bottom. So yeah, you move the tracks with these 2 arrows right there. And let's say you want just maybe the guitar and the bass showing and not the drums. Click on the eyeball. So now it's just the guitar and the bass. Now, what if you don't like how many bars are showing on the line? Maybe it's too crowded. Well, what you can do is click on, well, for Windows, it's Control, Alt, and the letter D. Control, Alt, and the letter D. That brings this stuff up. And this allows you to, click on this minus sign. It'll decrease the amount of bars in that line. And these little arrows pointing down, you're able to click on it and drag it around and change the size of the bars. You can even change how close these notes are to each other. And that's something that's unique to Guitar Pro 8. I think Guitar Pro 7, you can change the size of the bars, but you couldn't change the spacing of the notes like that. So, very, very cool thing that you can do now. So you can get really intricate with how the stuff is laid out. So, yeah, you can have just 1 bar if you want. Another quick thing you can do is just right-click anywhere, come down to bar, and then click on System Layout. And then you can click here and select how many bars you want per line. So let's say you want just 2. Click that, and then it's automatically going to make 2 bars per line. Do that again. And then let's say we just want 1. And there you go. But let's say you want this to stay 1 bar, and you want the rest of these to be like 2 bars a line. So you right click where you want this to start, go to bar, System Layout, and see right there it says Start at Current System. So basically that means it's going to start where your cursor is. So we want it to be 2. Boom, there you go. It's a very useful tool. So right here, you see how this page, we got this broken part. If you don't like that, I know I don't, you can change how the view is over here. So right next to this percentage thing, that is the size of the tab right now. So you can change how big and small it all is. And then right here, what I typically like is parchment. This means it's just one continuous thing. There's no line or page breaks anywhere. But, some people prefer it to be like this. Really, whatever allows you to see things the way that helps you, that's the way you want to choose it. So yeah, I usually like just going with parchment. And then when things are scrolling, it just scrolls continuously down. You're not going to have any big jumps because of a page break anywhere. Okay, let's see. Theory, music theory stuff. So a lot of times, when we get into more in-depth theory, I have students input things. So let's go over that stuff. And, this is very helpful for writing your own material or maybe entering notes and things on tabs and things you find online. So nice to know about a few things here. So let's say you're going to input something. We'll just input, well, I'm not going to input the right chord for this assignment, but I'm just going to put it in anyway. So there is some notes. If you hit the letter A, it brings up your chord naming chart or diagram. So you definitely want display name on because it's going to show the name of the chord right above the tab, like that. Now, a lot of times you'll see like display diagram listed, and what it's going to do is take this chord and put it at the top of the page. I typically do not like that because it ends up putting a bunch of clutter at the top of the page. But if you do write something and you want to have the chord diagrams displayed at the top of the page, definitely turn that on. And you can even put fingering and all that stuff in there. Seems like an automatic finger thing. I've never messed with it, so can't say much on that. But this is what I typically like to have, just display name, and then that's it. So other things, T for the text box. So this is where you can write basically anything you want. Speaking of in writing anything you want, let's say you're inputting a chord and you don't like what Guitar Pro brings up. Well, if you click over here, it'll drop down several other choices that it auto-generates. But if you don't like any of them and you know your theory well enough, you can name the chord however you like. And there you go. And the other thing, something I recently started doing, is having students input mode names at the start of stuff. So if you're in Windows, you can hit Shift plus Insert, and it brings that up. This is also how you put in like different sections of the song, like labeling things. But so this is like another place you can add more text if you need to. So for Mac, I don't remember what it is, but see right here, that little A right there, that's what you want to click in order to bring that up. So the left panel, this thing right there. Okay. So if you are interested in like looking up songs and whatnot, and if you are a student of mine, you know, at least you should know by now, I do not teach songs anymore. Why not? Well, because it turned out to be a very efficient way of teaching. So that's why we go over the fundamentals of everything, to how to count everything, how to, understand it all. So this way, when you do want to learn a song, you already know what the notation is telling you, and you know how to practice stuff. And basically, instead of teaching you 100 songs to be able to play 100 songs, teach you, let's say, 100 fundamental things so you can play 100,000 songs. So that's a big part of the lessons here. So anyway, I go to ultimateguitar.com for the songs or any tabs when I'm trying to figure something out, if I wanted to. So that's my recommendation. Just go here. See this. Well, this is the most recent one I looked for. Actually, let's see. Let's just do Iron Maiden. Why not? So you can type in the band name, you can type in the song name, and then you get all kinds of stuff down here. So the thing to look for you got to look for the Guitar Pro thing. See right here it says official. That's not Guitar Pro. This says Pro right here. That is not Guitar Pro. That is Ultimate Guitar's Pro tab software stuff. So yeah, these two top ones, they are not Guitar Pro. So obviously chords, no. Tab, 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 nope, none of that. Right here, Guitar Pro. That's what you want to look for when you're looking for Guitar Pro tabs. And obviously you want to go with 5-star rated ones, best you can. And that's it. So you click on the tab that you want, and then you have all this stuff load up here, which, yeah, we're not going to go with all this stuff in here. This is Ultimate Guitarist tab software. So you need to scroll all the way down there. And you click on Download Guitar Pro tab. And then there you go, it's downloaded. And then you open it up. And boom, there you go. So, again, you can change the tempo of this stuff in order to practice, which I should have said earlier, but we're saying it now. So yeah, you click on up here to change the tempo, put it to whatever you like. And this way it'll make it easier for you to play along with things so you can, work it up. There is a percentage feature right here. So you can just set the song to 50%, 60%, or whatever. You can also come down here to custom values in case you don't find a percentage already up there. You can even speed it up, slow it way down, set it to whatever you like. Let's see. So again, you can change how the pages are viewed just by changing it to that or whatever you like. Right here, that middle panel brings up, or the middle button over here brings up this panel. So you can check out the different tracks, put them all on, select whichever one you want to see. Let's see, what else? I think that really covers it. So like, yeah, the big things, you got your count in, the metronome up here, your loop if you need to, practice a specific thing and just have it loop over and over again. Changing the tempo. Sometimes you can click on that. It doesn't always work for me though. So yeah, like clicking on the tempo when it, you point at it, it's highlighted in blue, then you can bring it up. You can change things here. You can even like do a tap tempo to kind of set it to whatever you're kind of thinking or trying to find the tempo of a song, or like maybe you're transcribing your own thing. And then you can also just change the tempo by dragging this up and down. And there's way more intricate stuff here, like tempo automations, which I really don't know much about, but we don't need that to practice anything. There is, again, a percentage thing where you can set it to, whoops, what happened? Okay, there we go. You can set it to start at a lower percentage or even a higher one. Well, I guess, no, you can't go higher to lower. Oh, never mind. So you can only start at a lower percentage and then work your way up, and then it can, like, whatever you have highlighted or the whole song, it'll start to increase automatically by whatever percentage you have set here. Now that can be useful for some things, but for the most part, I don't really like doing that. I prefer just to change the tempo myself. This way, you can take a little break when you successfully practice something and then take your time to change the tempo, and then when you're ready to go for it again, then you go, instead of it having just be continuous. Because like if you make a mistake and then you need to stop it, then you got to change the percentage to whatever percentage you were at, and it just feels like kind of a pain in the butt, but it can be useful for various things. So I said I want to make a fairly quick video. It's already been over 20 minutes, but I think that covers like all the big things. Yeah, so there we go. Hopefully you find that helpful, even if you're not a student of mine. If you came across this just trying to see what you can use Guitar Pro for in terms of practice, hopefully that gave you some answers. All right, that's it. Any questions, let me know. And this video is done.